Yo, 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 what is up, my friends? What the fuck is up? Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Turn that down. What is up? A little later than I wanted, but better late than never, right? Is what they all say. And I got the game going on in the background, so I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's kind of low. Um, Obviously didn't want to. I didn't know like if I would get like flagged or whatever. But it is the Jags versus the Buffalo Bills, the wild card game. It is now 17-13. Jags are up, so fucking fantastic. Pulling for the Jags here. I've determined that the Jags are my Florida team. I don't know if that's a popular decision or not. But yeah, I had no idea who to root for. Not that this is a football podcast, but we're going to talk about a little bit of everything today. Fuck it. I didn't really know who to pull for being in Orlando. We're kind of in that weird area. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go with the Jags. So far, so good this year. What is up, my friends, though? Let me pull up the chat. K Smith, all right, you say you can hear me. All right, take your word for it, my friend. What's up, dude? What is up, my friends? I know Fernando is in. Yeah, Fernando, what's cooking, man? What is cooking? Mohammed, I see you in here, man. Happy Sunday, y'all. Sunday is my favorite day of the week. Oddly enough, I love Sundays and Wednesdays. Wednesdays are like a weird day, but I love Wednesdays too. But Sundays are my day, man. Sundays, I don't know. It's just something about a good Sunday, man. And especially we have some football on, so it's a good day, man. It's a good day. Josh Allen is nice though. I'm not a hater of the Bills. I'm happy for him. They've come a long way as a whole, as a team, as a franchise, rather. You should probably say over the past however many years. But man, more importantly though, my Eagles are playing later today, so that's why I have a lot of shit to do, but I definitely wanted to sit down and chat about wrestling, man, because we had a big. Oh, great. Rita's in the background. Let me know if you guys and Callie. Shout out Callie. They've been going through a rough few months, so shout out to those two gals right there. But she has her toy, so let me know if you guys can hear her chewing on her toy in the background because, like I said, and I say all the time, it's obnoxious to me, but I definitely just don't want to come in through to you guys because I've listened to some podcasts where you can hear like dishes clanging in the background and just like shit slamming around. And trust me, like I'm no professional over here, but I try to like be mindful of that shit. But she's starting with this, so just let me know if it comes through too much. But yeah, thank you all for joining. As usual, get this out of the way on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all that good stuff. I've heard. Let me know what you guys think of Kick, or if you guys use Kick. Um, there was this stream I was watching last night, completely unrelated to wrestling. But the dude was saying that he was able to stream. Oh my god! Oh, it was a Lifetime documentary that just actually Karen Reed. You guys know how I feel about Karen Reed. If you've been here with me for a minute. So there's a new Lifetime documentary that came out. Well, not a documentary, but a new Lifetime movie that came out on Karen Reed just yesterday. And he apparently was able to live stream the whole actual video and like watch it with his audience and shit. So that would be pretty dope if we could do shit like that. Obviously, we would just solely do that over on Kick. But I'm sure if he could do that, because he even mentioned like finding sites like because he said he found like a bootleg. I'm not gonna obviously name him, but he said he found like a bootleg site where he was able to stream the Lifetime movie itself. And he was like, yeah, it's pretty comparable to like UFC fights and shit, like where you would stream it from. So it had me thinking, like, man, why can't we do something like that with wrestling? Like when we do the watch alongs with wrestling, instead of just me playing the audio, maybe we all can shuffle on over to Kick. Again, I have to do research on that. I haven't even gone to the website yet. I forgot about it until now. But if it's something, if we are able to like actually stream shit, because apparently they don't have like, I don't know how they do it, or I don't know the rules. Like I said, I gotta do research. But if we could stream the actual like PLEs and like I can actually like watch it along with you guys, that'd be pretty sick. So especially people who aren't able to watch it, like one of my friends at my part time, he doesn't he for instance doesn't get the like ESPN, or he doesn't have Netflix or whatever. And so he's not able to watch the PLEs live. So he will go to like a friend's house or whatever. So if I'm able to stream it on Kick, I mean, you just have to download the app, but I'm pretty certain it's free. Like I said, once I do my research, I'll update everyone. But if you guys would be down for that, again, we wouldn't be able to stream it on YouTube. It'd be a separate, completely like watch along type of deal. But yeah, that'd be pretty fun. So maybe we could check that out. Oh, big play for the Jags. Oh no, I think it was the Bills actually. Yeah, they definitely got that shit. But yeah, I'm super pumped for my Eagles. Go Eagles this evening though. But then what we're here to talk about in the actual main event is Drew. I was going through your chat here. Oh, okay, Smith, you said Thursday has always been my favorite day of the week. I think because I love SmackDown growing up. Yeah, dude. And as I was thinking about it, I love Thursdays as well. That's probably my third fave. Oh man. Yeah, and Kay Smith, you said Tony Khan would love to hear the Jags are your favorite Florida team. And it's crazy you say that because I was actually earlier this week when I was up in Jacksonville, and it never fucking fails. Like between when I went up to Boston and then when I just went to Jacksonville, I always end up going to either of the places the week prior to like a big game happening or some type of event. I'm like, fuck, man. Because if this was last week, I totally would have been out there earlier depending on the price, to see this game because it would have been fun to watch in person. So yeah, man. But I drove by Daly's place, so that's what made me obviously think of TK. But yeah, man. Fernando, you said I'm happy for Drew, but I think he's losing the world champion. Oh, wow. At Saturday night's main event. Shit. Okay. So that is a bold prediction, my friend. We will obviously be getting into that here in a second. I want to pull up my notes here really quick. What up, Grandmaster? What up? What up? And thank you to everyone who has been emailing me lately. That's pretty dope. Later this evening, I have to put together this cabinet later tonight or after I finish cleaning. So later this evening, I'm going to dive through all that shit. So, but I appreciate you guys. That's pretty cool. All right, cool. Just pulling up some stuff, guys, really quick. Really quick, too. What do you guys think of Obafemi vacating the NXT Championship and obviously moving on to Raw or SmackDown? Interesting, right? I don't know why, but it made me think of Asuka way back when she was on. God, how many days was it? It was some crazy shit. She was on obviously like some crazy streak, and then she ended up vacating the championship. But it would have been cooler if he hadn't lost it in between, obviously. But I kind of dig it, I kind of dig going that route. Again, it makes me wonder, like, why even go through the whole back and forth? Well, I guess not back and forth, but like putting it on Ricky and then taking it back from Ricky when I don't know if the idea was just to elevate the match with Cody. But I don't know, man. I have kind of mixed feelings about that portion of it. But dude is gonna be a fucking beast when he gets to the main roster. So I'm really interested to see where he ends up, unless I missed it. So correct me if I'm wrong, because I watched Raw, which get to in a second, but it ended up being not that big or not that like not that big of a deal type of show. I went into it. Obviously, we did the stream before, really hyped, and I don't know. It was a good show, and my friend Dan was there again. Shout out Dan. It was a good show, but it was one of those things where I feel like it was hyped up a little bit more than maybe it should have been. And again, them playing into the whole Jericho speculation and the what if of that, I think definitely added to that feeling. And again, we talked about it, on the stream before, so we're not going to dive too much into it. They had me thinking, maybe they will come out with a bang and really want to start the year off hot and getting a lot of people talking with the Jericho debut. But like I said, I am more in the camp of having that Rumble surprise and having that feeling. Just if nothing else for nostalgia. But I went over the pros and cons of each side. Obviously, it did not end up happening. So at this point, it's obviously, in my opinion, pretty for sure that he'll be debuting or re-debuting at the Rumble, which again, I'm totally in favor for. Who was it talking? Fuck, I forget. I thought there was a segment during Raw when I was like, oh well, maybe this would be the opportunity. Like this would be the person for him to interrupt. Was it Gunther? I don't know. There was one point when I was like, man, this could be something. This could be a fun moment if Jericho were to interrupt, kind of like how he originally did and debut in that kind of form. You can kind of go off of that. Maybe it was Gunther. I forget who it was, but obviously, like I said, at this point, it's going to be a holdout for the Rumble, which I'm in favor for. But at this point, too, I'm almost like, and again, let me know if I missed it. I'll dive into the comments in a minute. But they haven't declared specifically where Obafemi is going yet, right? Obviously, we know where Javon Evans is going. Total fuck job that they did on him, though, having him sign his contract during the commercial break for people watching on Netflix. I don't know. And I was just like, really, dude? Like, you have I don't want to say an unlimited show, obviously, but I don't think they have like a hard out. And they probably have like a parameter, right? But it's not where the 8 to 11, you have to be done at 11, or you have like a 5-minute overrun type thing. So I don't know. I was just like, you couldn't devote the 2 minutes to actually making sure that airs on all feeds. So I didn't really like that too much. I don't know. Maybe it bothered me a bit more. Or maybe maybe I was a bit more salty because I was watching but everyone's watching on Netflix now, especially for Raw. So I don't know. But there were some people who had said that it aired live for them. So maybe that was people overseas. And Sai, if you end up popping in or if you watch our replay, let me know how it came through for you guys over there. But either way, I wasn't a fan of it. Like make sure you debut, or not debut, but you have been hyping it up, the speculation on which brand, even not overdoing it, right? But in my opinion, they did a good job of having him toy in between SmackDown and Raw and kind of toy with the idea of where is he going to end up. And then you have him sign the contract during a commercial break. Like, I don't know, man. It just was, I wasn't a fan. But, okay, Fernando, you said it's been confirmed Obafemi is going to Raw. Okay, that's a good choice. Raw always just feels like the land of the monsters for whatever reason. Especially lately. I don't know why. Just like Braun Strowman, for whatever reason, comes to mind. And I just associate him with not SmackDown, with Raw more. Although he did have some moments with Roman on SmackDown, but whatever. I think he's just a better fixture for Raw when you think about it in the lay of the land. But especially, it's going to be interesting, too, if he comes over as a face or heel. I just think he's not a tweener, but I think he's kind of that rare guy that you do want to come over as a good guy and kind of just go from there. Especially being the size that he is and just the presence that he is, he's a much better, or not much better, but stereotypically, in the past, they're normally like the badass heels, in the bad guys. But something about Femi, man, like he just has that organic following of like people just wanting to get behind him, in my opinion. So I think they should hit the ground running with him and really have him come over and just just demolish people. Bring back the good old days where you had jobbers and you just brought them in and had like quick matches and just pummel people. So we'll see, man. Fernando, I love your takes, bro. He said BFAB is trash. Oh, you're funny, bro. Okay, so it's 2017 now. Bills are up, but Jaguars are making the way down. I don't know. I think the Jags are gonna pull it off. You guys see Frida right there. Shout out Free. Let me know what you guys think. If you care about football, do you think the Jags are gonna beat the Bills? I know it's actually much closer than I thought it was gonna be. Hey, look at this chick, always getting into shit. Hold on 1 second. All right, I had to move some shit before it all comes tumbling down. But I don't know, man. I thought going into it was either going to be one of those games where the Bills kind of, I don't want to say like crush the Jags but like come like kind of keep the pace, like the spread where they're up like 2-ish scores to the Jags. But I don't know, man. I think the Jags, I think it's gonna be one of those games kind of where it comes down to who has the ball at like the last possession and can score the last scoring drive, really. Especially with it only being within 3. Obviously, you need field goal to tie it up, and that'd be tricky too. The decision making, man, I would not want that pressure. Oh yeah, Fernando, you said I don't care who wins. My Bears beat our nemesis, the Packers, last night. What a fucking game, dude. What a fucking game. Yo. I'm not gonna lie, like I favor the Packers more, but over the two. But man, I'm happy for the Bears, man. They've been through some shit. So I'm happy for the Bears. There's this one streamer that I dig who is a big Bears fan, so I'm happy for him in his family. So that's dope. Shout out to you, man. I'm happy for you too. But yeah, so back to the matter at hand. Drew McIntyre. Drew fucking McIntyre, y'all. I was hopeful. You guys know me, man. You've been here with me. I was at the point where if they did not pull the trigger on Drew here, obviously here being SmackDown, then shout out Jags. They just scored again. Let's go. But if they didn't pull the trigger on Drew actually winning the championship, then you might as well write Drew off. Not completely and get rid of him type shit, obviously, right? But the character, you might as well have him take substantial amount of time off because you've I don't want to say ruin him, but damn near. You can't keep having him get these opportunities and then lose, whether it be justifiable or not, but just having him go back to back to back, like you gotta move the fuck on. You know what I mean? And while I would have liked if it was a bit more solidifying that Drew actually was the better man, you know what I mean? At the end, because obviously just fast forwarding, we had the return of Jacob Fatu, right? I dug that. I dug having Jacob come in and attack both men, and especially starting off with Drew, then going to Cody, and then obviously with the placement with Drew being so close to and being in the steel cage, key point there. And Drew being so close to the door, and with the stipulation with the cage being that you can win via escaping the cage, right? So therefore you can just walk through the door as Damian Priest. While Jacob Fatu was taking care of Cody on the other side of the ring, Drew was able to pull himself through the cage, made his way to the floor, and win the final and third fall in the 3 stages of hell. So I was like super fucking happy that Drew won, right? But I was like, man, like I wish, I don't know. I was a little conflicted, to be honest with you, but obviously more happy than not. And this is coming again, you guys know me, from a Cody fan, man. But I, respect is respect. Drew again is at the point where, and his character is at the point where it's like, should get off the pot. You know what I mean? And he finally won the big one, and he finally won the big one in front of people, live people. And to add on to that, it was in front of a fan base who was in support of Drew, which I thought was very interesting as well. Even going to the introductions, there were some pretty big boos for Cody. So I thought that was a very interesting sign as well. We've heard a little bit of a little spatter, of boos for Cody here in the States, but nothing is prominent, in my opinion, and that I can remember. At least, let me know if you guys know. That has been that loud for Cody. So, and again, maybe it's just a matter of people were kind of like me and just at the point where we did Cody, but it's Drew's time, So maybe it was a matter of that, or it could be a shift and a sign of, okay, like this could be the beginning and some of the seeds being planted more heavily for the heel turn of Cody. And I don't know if that's something you necessarily want to do going into WrestleMania season, because that would be kind of propelling it very soon. But if it does, like I said, continue, they're going to be, I don't think they're going to be back in the States in for a couple weeks. But once they get back over here and kind of get back in the, I don't want to say the normal flow, but, the general rotation of the schedule, and they hit like the act, go state to state, I'll be interested to see what happens with the reaction consistently going forward for Cody. If it becomes like, starts teetering like a different Cena back in the day, where it becomes more 50-50, boos and cheers, and if it starts becoming more so the kids and the women cheering for Cody, and the men are cheering for like Drew and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think we're still very premature for that, but I don't know, man. I think it was just very interesting to me. It just stood out, It just stood out more than what we've heard. So we'll see. You guys are talking about where? Who are you guys talking about? Let's see. Oh yeah, about where Oba is going. I mean, shit. I don't know if it's been confirmed or not. It is what it is. But I think he would probably be best on Raw, especially with Trick Willie being over there on SmackDown. We'll chat about him here in a quick second. But yeah, so continuing with Drew, because I'm gonna start talking about Trick Williams. I think, again, so that's kind of my thoughts on the win itself. Again, super fucking happy he won. It's about time. And I'm really curious. I think it was Fernando. You said that you thought he was gonna lose at Saturday night's main event. I think that's soon, man. I think people would. I think shit. Talking about Cody, I think especially if he dropped it right back to Cody, I think people would kind of not go on like a like backlash or anything like that. But I think if you finally pull the trigger on putting the championship on Drew, and then you take the championship right back off of him so quickly afterwards. I don't know, man. Even with him having the character of being screwed and I don't know, man. You guys know. Like, I just think it would do more harm than good, and it would be almost a matter of like what was the point? If this whole thing is just to screw Drew over at Saturday night's main event, you should have just done that on SmackDown, and then have that be the story continuing forward. So I don't know. I just think that I don't think he's going to necessarily have a super long title reign, but I think it's going to be further than Saturday night's main event, at least. Whether that I think I don't see it being within this month. So I think he's gonna go forward and possibly even make it to Mania. I can see him going into Mania as the defending champ, and then, and again, it just depends on so many other key factors. Because as I'm saying that, do we really? And I don't. But do we really want to see and expect to see the Drew and Cody story continue? I just think between now and Mania, I just think that would be kind of crazy. Cody, my opinion, really, Cody doesn't need the championship right now. Really, use this as an opportunity to shake shit up. You actually pulled the trigger and made Drew the champion. Now stick with it and freshen up the main event scene. Not saying obviously remove Cody, but have him do something different. Maybe Roman comes back. Maybe he gets involved. I don't know. Maybe he does take a couple weeks off and then he returns at the Rumble. I kind of do expect a rematch between him and Drew, at least one more, but I expect Drew to keep it. And I would be really disappointed if they put the title on Drew just to take it right back off in a couple weeks. I just think that would be just trash, especially if it's not even like a Money in the Bank situation. Like, just trash. Like, Drew deserves to have a longer reign than that, and not some bullshit. So I hope that they don't end up going that route. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Drew being the new champ. And again, I'm mixed. I have mixed feelings on if he's going to go into Mania as a champion, potentially lose the championship at the Elimination Chamber. Something like that. Have the champion, or sitting here thinking about it, Sammy has been really making a heavy case lately, especially each week now, for winning the Rumble. And yeah, he could play the long game. He could lose this Rumble and then go on a hunt for the next year, but it's so long between now and next year. So, we're talking about WrestleMania in 2027 and winning the big one there in Saudi. But I have a feeling that Sammy's going to win the Rumble, man. I said this again early in 2025. My money was on Sammy at the time, and then I kind of like backed off a little bit on it because he was off TV for a bit, and it just didn't really seem like they were still going in that direction. But lately, man, you can make more and more of a case for having Sammy win the Rumble and go from there. And Drew would be a good competitor for Sammy, and Sammy called him out on SmackDown, in that backstage segment. So it kind of makes more and more sense, and that's why I was saying, like, you don't necessarily have to have Cody involved in the well, not necessarily main event, multiple main events, right? But in the title scene, you can have Sammy win the Rumble and start mixing it up with Drew, and have them occupying each other. And then you can take Cody and have him doing something else, whether that is, I just have a sneaking feeling that it's going to involve Roman somehow. And I don't know. I think it also heavily depends on what Seth is doing, because that then plays into what's happening in the title picture overall on Raw, which has a trickle effect, in my opinion, as well. So there's a lot of key factors, and obviously the Rumble is going to clear up a lot of that. But I wouldn't really be surprised if we have a Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre championship match at WrestleMania. So we'll see. But talking about Trick Williams, bringing him up earlier, you want to talk about debuting on the main roster and kind of mixing it up and kind of going through the motions in like the best way possible. And I think that's Trick Williams, man. Again, kind of like what they were doing with Javon Evans, but more seriously, obviously, for Williams. They had him shopping the field, right? Shopping at different shows and all that. And I think SmackDown was the perfect choice for him. You know, no surprise there with Lash Legend being over on SmackDown. But Trick has that vibe, man, and he just has that presence to him. And I like that they aren't thrusting him into the main event scene, but they're having him mix it up with main event talent like Randy Orton, come out there, call him out respectfully, but still state his case and not be some pushover bitch, you know what I mean? And be like, yo, like, this is what I'm here to do. Like, I'm calling my shot, you know, like, this is what I'm about type shit. And really owning his spot in the ring and really being like, yo, like, this is who I am. In like, presence wise, like promo wise, with someone the caliber of Orton, but having that mutual respect there, you know what I mean? So I dig that because a lot of times we'll either see a few different variations where they'll come in and just automatically put them in the main event scene and the title picture and just not pull the trigger on them, and then it's like, okay, well, you've already in you know, like sometimes that could work, but sometimes, and like more times than not, you're just overshooting for no reason. Or they take someone who has a decent name and a you know, like a pretty big-ish name, you know, like some momentum, you know, that coveted momentum coming in, and then just completely downplay it and just completely strip them and make it seem like they're like a completely new star and kind of start from scratch. So I dig what they've been doing with Trick. I love his look. Like, I don't know, man. And you can tell too that they let him speak for himself. So I'm sure it's one of those things where they probably like give him bullet points and they're like, yo, this is obviously the end game and this is what we want the outcome to be. But put your flair on it. Literally. Because him talking about like the lemon peppers and like his outfit and everything. Ric Flair, dude, I listening to him, I was like, yo, like this dude, like his flow, how he ties everything together and it makes sense and it doesn't feel forced. Something about him, dude. And again, I was a fan of him in NXT, but it's just amazing to see how much he's grown too, and just how he's pretty much used like the same character, like in the same like whoop that trick and all that, which I think is just so fucking just you need that as a star, man. Like you need a chant that something like some of the fans can really get invested in. But it's not something that is going to the fans are going to insert every time he speaks like a what chant, you know what I mean? So it's like the perfect balance. Um, but just to see how he's elevated, man, like he really dressed for the job he wanted. You know what I mean? Like you know that saying, like dress for the job you want and not the job you have. Like which you know is kind of disrespectful for your current place, but like Cody, right? Like they would always say that about Cody. That was often like coined with Cody. He would fucking go to Cracker Barrel and be in a suit. You know what I mean? So I like that Trick is doing that, but he has his own flair to it. So shout out to him, man. I think it's only a matter of time, but I really hope they don't rush it with him. Like I hope they don't. I don't even want to see him win Money in the Bank this year. Like I want to see that at least be a year plus out from now. Have him maybe potentially within the next few weeks or so end up mingling maybe like a month or so from now. Like have him go through maybe like two-ish more opponents, pretty much between now and the Rumble. Go through a couple opponents like he did with Rey Fenix and just really establish himself on the main roster, show people who aren't familiar with his in-ring work, like what he's about, and just continue to put his character over. Go have a nice showing in the Rumble. Really show people like, yo, like, you know, he's the real deal. You know what I mean? Like, not saying he's gonna go in there and like have like the most eliminations or anything like that, but have a good showing. And then have him come out of it, and you have Carmelo as the US champ still, and you guys, you know, you can play off of that. Have them play off of their history from NXT. Trick wants to make a name for himself. He wants to go into WrestleMania season, going into Mania as a champ. Carmelo is the US champ. He can answer an open challenge. So, and you can have them kind of bump into each other backstage if you want to kind of set it up leading into it. So, I just think there's a lot of different options that you have with Trick, but I want to see not necessarily the slow game, but I want to see him really be dominant like that. And then potentially next year win the Money in the Bank and then go from there. So we'll see. But those are my thoughts. Kind of coming out of SmackDown, a little bit going into the Rumble, but especially on the big news with Drew winning. So curious to read your thoughts here. And then we'll be jumping off here not too long because it's a big day. I got a lot of shit to do. Big day for, you know, all of us sports fans out there. So I think what we at 27. Okay, yeah, 27, 24. We have, oh shit, we only have a minute left. All right, so maybe we'll hang on and see the outcome. I hope this is live. Sometimes I back it up a bit. But Jags are getting the ball with a minute and 4 left, it looks like. They need, and this is literally what I was about, or what I was actually speaking about earlier, getting down to the situation where you have 27, like I said, right? 27, 24 left, or on the scoreboard. You have a 3-point differential. If you get down to the red zone, it's like, yo, do you go for the 3 to tie it up? Or do you go for the money shot and win the game? Obviously, it depends on the situation and how close you are at that point, but we'll see. Let me pull up your comments here. All right, Grandmaster, you said Drew is going to be fighting Orton at the Rumble? Okay. Yo, Maria, what up, girl? What up, what up? So good to see you in here. That's what I was thinking about, too. Yeah, Maria, I'm so happy you're in here and you threw that up there. I don't know why the comments are fucking taking up half my screen. But you said Cody is winning the Rumble and will challenge Punk at WrestleMania. That's what I was thinking earlier, and that's why I was like, it really depends on what happens with Seth and what the title scene is going to look like because of Seth. I really think, and I feel like we are, if we get Seth back before Mania. Oh, an interception. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I gotta see this replay, y'all. Oh, it was tipped. Lawrence threw. Nice spiral. It was tipped. Oh, he went to catch it, bounced off his hands, and right into the defender. Oh, fucking sickening, dude. Fucking sickening. Well, it's still time for my Eagles, man. My Eagles. That's the real game. That's where the real money lies. So that's just heartbreaking, man. I really thought God damn, man. The Jags really had an opportunity. Fuck, man. But yeah, Maria, so you saying Cody winning the Rumble and then challenging Punk? Like I was saying, I really think that does stem. It's like a little asterisk depending on what happens with Seth and when Seth comes back. So if it's a matter of Seth making a surprise return at the Rumble in the Rumble match, I think that would be big. But But I don't know if we have Cody winning the Rumble though, because that would be what 3 times now. I don't see Cody actually winning the Rumble. I think someone new is gonna win the Rumble. I don't know, even if it's not Sammy. Like Sammy's kind of like my dark horse. I don't know. I'm still a little TBD on that, but my early money was on Sammy, but I just don't think Cody's gonna win again. I think it's gonna be a matter of Cody, is trying to figure out how he's going to get back into Mania, and then it stems off of the Chamber. Oh, I absolutely. This would be worst case scenario for me. Punk versus Brock. I do not want to see that shit at all. Do not want to see that shit. Okay, Fernando, you said LA Knight is winning the Money in the Bank and will cash in on the same night. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, NFL watch along for sure, man. Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier with Kick, bro. I'm really gonna look into Kick because if I can fucking stream, like if I can just like, share my screen and actually stream the show that we're watching and not just the audio, that'd be really fucking fun. Obviously, it would just be on that platform and I can't do a multi-stream like we do through at the same time with YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, but it would just be solely on Kick, and that could be cool though. Shit, Fernando, you said the Eagles don't want no part of the Bears. Okay, sir. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Fernando, you said Stone Cold won the Rumble 3 times for sure, but I just don't think that Cody is on that chase story, that strong chase story right now. To win number 3. I just don't feel like it's that time to tell that third story. So that's where I'm at with it. Yeah, dude, I'm just so fucking sick, man. That interception, dude. And again, it wasn't Lawrence's fault. If you guys didn't see it, like the receiver, like it bounced right off of the receiver's hands and then into another defender right behind him. Fucking sick, man. At least it's not my Eagles though. My Eagles, it's gonna be a good game. But yeah, guys, that is what was on the docket for today. I appreciate you all for joining me in this random pop-up episode as always. Yeah, I don't know. I really have some things in the works, so TBD on that. But I appreciate you guys. I still can't believe it, man. They were just showing a replay of it. But I'm gonna look into that Kick thing because it'd be really fun to actually watch some shit along with you guys. But yeah, I appreciate you guys as always for popping in here whenever I randomly join or start a stream, whether it's on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all that good stuff. Like and subscribe. You guys know the drill. I appreciate you all very much. But until next time, my friends, take care. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful Sunday. I will be throwing another load of the laundry in and then running up to clean my car here really quick. But yeah, enjoy the beautiful day. Enjoy some wrestling and take care, my friends. Peace.